It has been a decade since Robin Williams passed away, and I still remember the day he died. I was working in an open floor plan office, and as I walked towards my desk, the person sitting across from me said, "Robin Williams died." Without thinking, I responded with some insensitive joke. She managed to pull off two emotions in the same look. The first, maintaining the sadness at his loss, while the second, adding disgust to my stupid joke. As I sat down at my desk, the realization of the loss began to set in as I thought about what an amazing person he was. Robin McLaren Williams was born in Chicago, Illinois on July 21st, 1951. His father was an executive at Ford Motor Company, and his mother was a former model. The family relocated to Bloomsfield Hills, Michigan, where they lived in a 40-room farmhouse. Robin was a good student at the private school he attended and was heavily involved in extracurricular activities, such as wrestling and serving as class president. He used his natural sense of humor to charm his peers, a trait that he carried with him into adulthood and maintained throughout his life. After his father's retirement, the family moved once more to California. Robin enrolled at Claremont College with the intention of studying political science, a path encouraged by his father. While there, he was introduced to theater. This led him to change his major and transfer to the College of Marin, a community college in Kentfield, California. Later, he received a scholarship to the prestigious acting school Juilliard. He was one of only 20 students accepted into the freshman class that year. Fellow classmates included Christopher Reeve, William Hurt, and Mandy Patinkin. Reeve and Williams remained close friends until Reeve passed away in 2004. Williams' genius shined at Juilliard, even when working with other great performers. His manic energy and innate ability to transform into different characters made him a standout, and he excelled equally in both comedic and dramatic roles. He left Juilliard during his junior year to pursue stand-up comedy, after one of the teachers told him there was nothing more Juilliard could teach him. During his time in school, Robin Williams experimented with stand-up comedy at small bars and clubs in New York. After leaving Juilliard, he moved to the San Francisco Bay Area to pursue a stand-up career. It didn't take long for Williams to achieve success on the stand-up circuit, as he quickly made his way from San Francisco to Los Angeles, performing at various clubs, such as the Comedy Store. In 1979, he won his first Grammy for his comedy album Reality. What a concept. Williams would continue to do stand-up comedy throughout his life. It should be no surprise that his talents were recognized by TV and movie producers. His first on-screen appearance happened on the revival of Laugh-In 1977. The show didn't laugh long. See what I did there? He also had a small role in the low-budget comedy Can I Do It? Till I Need Glasses. When Mork and Mindy premiered, the name Robin Williams became a household staple. In this series, Williams played a quirky extraterrestrial studying human behavior on Earth. This character was originally introduced in 2 episodes of Happy Days, which later inspired the spin-off show. His improvisational method of performing forced the director of Mork and Mindy to add a 4th camera to catch all the action. This is a standard used to this day in sitcoms. The sitcom was such a massive hit that it spawned a line of merchandise, including lunchboxes, posters, and toys. People even dressed up as Mork for Halloween. Williams' portrayal of the lovable alien earned him a spot on the covers of Time and Rolling Stone magazine. He would win 2 Golden Globes for his performance in Mork and Mindy. Williams' first major foray from the small screen to the big screen was with his lead role in Popeye, acting alongside Shelley Duvall. The movie was critically panned, however, has developed a bit of a cult following since. Following his success on Mork and Mindy, he went on to star in the critically acclaimed film The World According to Garp. This movie also marked the big screen debut of Glenn Close. As a side note, after The World According to Garp, his star would continue to rise with an overlooked performance in Club Paradise. He he would receive his first Academy Award nomination for Good Morning Vietnam, and Dead Poets Society would garner him another Academy Award nomination. In total, he received 4 Academy Award nominations, only winning once for his Best Supporting Actor role in Good Will Hunting. From playing the saxophone for Moscow on the Hudson to voicing the beloved genie in Aladdin, and seamlessly transitioning between characters in Miss Doubtfire, Robin Williams could do it all. He even took on roles as former president in Night in the Museum and a gentle gay man in The Birdcage. And that's just a few highlights from his impressive resume. Robin Williams was actively involved in numerous charitable organizations. He would tour multiple times with the USO entertaining troops. Along with Whoopi Goldberg and Billy Crystal, he co-founded Comic Relief USA to raise money for the homeless. Furthermore, he advocated for women's rights and, alongside his second wife, Marcia, established a philanthropic foundation called the Windfall Foundation. He married his first wife, Valerie, in 1978, with whom he had his first child. Unfortunately, his infidelity led to numerous extramarital affairs and eventually led to the demise of their marriage. They would divorce in 1988. As Williams worked long hours into the night, trying to sustain his energy and keeping company with people who had easy access to drugs, he developed a dangerous dependence on both drugs and alcohol. He would spend entire nights out drinking and snorting cocaine, only to show up strung out for shooting Mork and Mindy the next day, and the cycle would continue each night. After the tragic death of fellow comedian and friend John Belushi due to a drug overdose in 1982, Williams realized he needed to make a change. Williams had partied earlier that very night with Belushi. As a way to combat his addictive tendencies, Robin Williams turned to bicycling. After separating from Valerie, Williams began a relationship with his child's nanny, Marcia. Although they were accused of having an affair during his first marriage, both denied any involvement until after his separation. On April 30th, 1989, they married. Marcia was 6 months pregnant with their first child at the time. They had 2 more children together. She would also work with Robin as an assistant for some of his films, and together they formed a production company called Blue Wolf Productions. However, their marriage ended in a divorce. Though Williams stopped using drugs, his undiagnosed depression or manic depression still persisted. He would experience extreme emotional highs and lows, as anyone who saw an interview with him could attest to his energetic and almost manic behavior on screen. However, when the cameras were off, Williams was more somber in his interactions with others. This underlying depression may have influenced his decision to take on more darker roles in his later films instead of his usual comedic roles. In spite of his efforts to overcome addiction, he fell back into it years later. In 2003, while working on a film in Alaska, he started drinking again. Despite going through rehab multiple times, he continued to relapse and return to alcohol. He found humor in his struggles and talked about them during his comedic performances. In 2007, he met Susan Schneider, who would later become his third wife, in October of 2011. They would stay married until his death. While on his Weapons of Self-Destruction tour, he suffered from cardiac problems that required him to postpone some show dates. In March of 2009, he underwent surgery to replace his aortic valve, repair his mitral valve, and correct his irregular heartbeat. Following the surgery, he had to scale back on his workload, doing fewer movies and stand-up performances. Continuing to suffer from severe depression, he started experiencing a decline in his mental abilities. This manifested as forgetfulness, anxiety, and insomnia. Over time, those symptoms worsened, and he also began to struggle with memory loss, paranoia, and delusions. After seeking treatment, he was mistakenly diagnosed with Parkinson's disease, but it was later discovered to be dementia with Lewy bodies. Both diseases manifest with similar symptoms. The correct diagnosis was not made until after his death. According to his wife Susan, Robin was losing his mind, and he was aware of it. He kept saying, "I just want to reboot my brain." On October 11, 2014, Robin took his own life to end his suffering. The news shocked the world, as he did such a good job of hiding his issues. even those closest to him didn't see it coming, including my coworker, who was saddened by the loss, and myself, who often uses humor to deal with uncomfortable situations. Fortunately, when I think of Robin Williams, I can remember all the memorable roles he played and watch one of his movies or laugh along with one of his timeless stand-up comedy performances. Robin Williams' ashes were scattered in San Francisco Bay.